I'm grateful that you are a resourceful person to find things like that, because I know that's not my strong skill set or
Right.
whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And if there's something to be organized, she's the one.
Right. And I have friends whose husbands plan things, right? So I could get stuck on that. Well, so and so's husband planned a whole trip for her, total surprise, put it all together. So I could be stuck on that and be upset and be like, my husband doesn't do that for me. But you know what? We are two people that have come together and we appreciate the benefits of what we get from each other. And I'm happy my husband is in his wheel well, doing the things that, that make him flow, that make him go, and I'm loving it. And there's things that he's very good at, very good at,
Oh,
that I appreciate. And so if it means that I plan the trip, then I'll plan the trip, because there's other things that he's very good at planning and I receive it.
oh, good.
Hey,
I'm glad to hear
y'all
that.
know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. And so it is also really knowing who you marry and
Yes.
appreciating them, but also reflecting and cherishing all those past experiences that you've had and things that you want to create in the future. And it brings us to step 3, which is helping you make decisions because you know who you are
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
So you're doing visualization. And so if you're confronted with a decision,
Mhm.
you visualize, what would that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes he doesn't give me an answer right away
No.
because
Typically I don't.
he has to visualize.
Yes. And see what that feels like and what will play out with that. And really it's about what it feels like. If it feels good, then I'll pause and I'll let it run through my head and give my consenting answer. But if it don't feel good, I'm not giving an immediate answer, and my answer is going to, the
Wink,
wink, wink.
wink.
My answer is going to be a gentle, soft, and loving no.
Yeah.
And
And I will admit that there are times where you've visualized the process of a decision we were challenged with. We've had to make some personal decisions, whether it was with family members
yeah,
or, even when my mother was passing away, right?
mhm,
And there were decisions that we needed to make.
yes,
And should we go left or should we go right? And there were times where I wasn't really in the right headspace to
mhm,
think through what would be the outcome of various decisions. And there have been times where I've had to go back and go, you know what? Thank you. Thank you, because I couldn't see it at the time, but now I appreciate you being protective of our family
mhm,
and, saying no. There were times where I was like, why are we saying no? This is family. What are we doing?
yeah.
And then later I would go, woo, that would have been a disaster. That would have been horrible.
I'm a firm believer that um, when we make our decisions, what are we willing to give?
Yes. What are we willing to give? Yeah.
And if it's giving too much where it takes away from you and I,
Yeah.
the takeaway now, it's a great thing to give.
Yes.
When there you can give anything, and this is not just a monetary topic,
Yes. You can
but
give your
you can
time,
give your time, your
energy.
energy, your emotions,
Yes. Your house.
your
Let people
home.
come
Yeah, let
into your
people come in.
home.
I'm a,
Mm.
but it depend. All those decisions equate to an expense, and what are you willing to pay per se in making that decision? Are you willing to give up your time? Are you willing to give up the sanctity of your home? Are you willing to
Well, you have to visualize the process. If I say yes to this, what all could
What am I
occur.
really saying yes
What am
to?
I
The
saying
extent
yes
of it,
to?
yeah.
Yeah. How far is this going to take us? And is this line up with the vision that I already have for my marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is true not just in our relationship but also with our children. So our son had to make a decision between two colleges, three really. And so we took him to the different colleges so he could visualize
Yep.
himself being there. One of the colleges, he just knew that was the one he was going to go to. It was less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever was online just really appealed to him. And so I said, we're going to take you there. So we
Yeah.
actually took him there to spend the weekend. And it's not near the ocean. It was hot. And it was like,
And it
what?
wasn't summertime.
It was not summer. I was like, woo, you can imagine how hot it's going to be when it gets summer. And he just got to immerse himself
Yes.
in that environment. We took him to the dorm so he could see where he would live.
Mm-hmm.
It gave him a chance to visualize. And we did both schools so
Mm-hmm.
that he could see that. The third one, we just pulled it up on the GPS, and he got to look around, and he was already saying no to the third one.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two, now he wears his shirt proud when he made his decision, because he was very comfortable in the decision he made because he was there. He was able to visualize himself going to school there. We went in and out of buildings and everything.
Yeah, it's important to take the time out and evaluate to whatever extent is necessary, especially when a big decision like what college you're going to. Don't just, based on what everybody else is talking about, you got to get a feel because you're going to be living there. You got to get a feel for that. And I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we took the time out to drive up there and spend the weekend and allow him to have a weekend
Mm-hmm.
versus a whole semester and be like, Mom, Dad, I don't think I like
What
it
did
here.
I do?
No, hell to the no. That's the wrong avenue to take to figure that out.
Right.
So, and it teaches him early how to go through a process of making good, sound decisions
Right.
based on, exposing himself to an environment for a temporary basis versus just here I am permanently. No.
And I will say, you as being the head of our household, because that's how we are in our family. Not everybody's the same, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I allow my husband to be the head. So because I allow him, does that make me really the? No, I'm just kidding. But I rely on his guidance and his vision for our relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
For how we make those decisions. Yeah.
And being in that position, it's a complex place to be, which is why I don't give answers immediately to anything. And I think I'm just generally like that anyways with all aspects of life. I like to give it thought first.
Right.
And
And that's important.
Yeah.
Because whatever decision is made is going to change the dynamics of our relationship. And it's either going to be for the good or to the detriment.
And I'm always trying to stack it up for the good.
So. Yes. So before you make a decision of help, yes. So whenever you make a decision, you definitely want to really make sure it aligns with your goals, right? And does the vision that you have, does it align with this decision that